This was the scene that was meant to usher in a new era for Egypt and the Middle East. After 18 days of protests, tens of thousands of Egyptians took to the streets on February the 11th, 2011, this time to celebrate what appeared to be a victory. President Hosni Mubarak, who had ruled for 30 years, had stepped down. And as far as they were concerned, it was them who deposed him. According to human rights groups, almost 1,000 people were killed by security forces and even more were injured during the uprising. But at that moment, for many, it seemed to be worth it. Freedom was finally being achieved. Egypt's military generals assumed power, promising to step aside when elections took place. And after months of continued protests, Mubarak and his aides found themselves standing in front of a judge in what was billed as the trial of the century. The revolution was welcomed across the world as the birth of a new era of freedom in the Middle East and North Africa. Leaders, including US President Barack Obama, showered praise on the Egyptian people. By 2012, Egyptians voted in a new parliament. According to international observers, it was the first free and fair elections in the country's history. But still, the army ruled, maintaining executive power. Later that year, Mohamed Morsi was voted in as Egypt's first ever democratically elected president. But it just wasn't to be. Egyptians witnessed just 12 months of civilian rule. On July 3, 2013, the army led a coup against Morsi and, according to Human Rights Watch, killed more than 800 unarmed civilians in one day. Since then, Mubarak has been released from jail, as have all his regime's senior ministers and officials. Despite the hundreds, if not thousands, of protesters killed since the January 25th revolution began, not a single security officer or official has been jailed. Meanwhile, President Sisi, whom many accuse of killing their revolution, has been trying to sell his vision of Egypt to the very same leaders who once praised the Egyptian uprising. As Egyptians mark the 5th anniversary of Mubarak's removal, many will be questioning what, if anything, has changed. Jamal Al-Shayal, Al Jazeera.